Hey everyone, welcome to the first draft video. Giving the look at my initial team as of just tinkering around a little bit and building it. We obviously will have a proper team selection video before the deadline still in case any changes are made. But here is how things are looking right now ahead of game week 1. I think there's a lot of players here that are going to be in a lot of people's teams. Obviously, still subject to change, just kind of moving things around. But this is kind of what I landed on after yesterday. I actually had somewhat of a bare bones team out. A lot has been changed like from that. That was kind of just to get the team up and running. I would have liked to have Dybala in this, but I do believe he went off injured in one of the preseason games. So that's why he is out right now. But without further ado, let's take a look at what we have here. For my attackers, honestly, I think you're kind of crazy right now if you don't have Osimhen in the side. Yes, he's very expensive, but very worth it playing on a very strong Napoli side, who has retained a lot of its team from last season. I think like basically the notable transfer out from Napoli has been Kim, and Osimhen didn't really, and Kim didn't really work together too much to contribute to Osimhen's return. So I can see as long as he doesn't get transferred out at any point during the season, Osimhen having another really great year. Um, Immobile is someone that I don't necessarily always like having, but I feel like I need to have him. His production, no matter how old he gets, he always seems to get a lot of goals in Serie A. Completely different player than he is with the Italian national team. He is also 1.4 mil cheaper than Lautaro Martinez. He's someone whose price is actually on a downward trend right now. I do think that he is worth having in your squad to start and seeing how he goes. Now, with the kind of player Mobile is, very injury prone player, he might not be in the team for a long time. But especially if you have some banked up transfers, that's a lot of money that you could use to move to someone else if you wanted to. Eventually, maybe moving down to a cheaper striker that's doing maybe better than expected on one of the smaller club teams. As we saw last year, there were a couple players like that, like Dia and stuff. In the midfield, right now we're in a 5-3-2, so I'm going to go through the starting lineup and then I'll go through the bench. In the midfield, we have Zielinski. Uh, Obviously, the main midfielder that people would probably look to. Actually, I forget if yeah, I think Kvaratskhelia is as a midfielder. Yeah, but most people would be looking for Kvaratskhelia for their main midfielder at 12.0. That's his price, 12 million euros. I think that's a little steep for someone that had a fantastic season last year, but still has not shown the consistency that I would have liked to see to um, pay 12 mil for someone, especially in a midfield spot, when I already have the likes of Osimhen, Immobile, and soon you're going to see Leao also going to want to be part of that equation as well. That's going to be three players already that I have over 10 million euros. Adding Kvaratskhelia would really take away from the rest of the squad after that. Now, if he goes off guns a-blazing right at the start again, I bank one or two transfers maybe off the start. And then I find a way to get him in and move maybe Immobile out and get another cheap striker or something like that. That could be arranged, but I don't know if starting with Kvaratskhelia is the way to go. Although I completely understand for people that would rather have him in the team rather than maybe a Seamhan or Immobile, that might work. But Zielinski is a good midfielder for Napoli as well, who should get contributions as well. Then obviously Rafael Leao, probably the best attacking option within AC Milan. Um, Price point, rightfully so, at 11 mil. I think one thing that I didn't say in my roles and scoring video that actually is important is prices are fixed throughout the season. There's no going up or down depending on form. So the prices that you see on these players are the prices that they're going to be always. But yeah, Rafael Leao, just a great attacking option in the Milan squad, and they're going to be very strong. They've had a really nice transfer window, got some new pieces in that are going to work in and around with Leao. A cheaper option for midfield that I do think is still going to be good is Nico Gonzalez from Fiorentina. Fiorentina's had a couple difficult last couple seasons, but one player that's been constantly contributing, oftentimes I find more than the actual attackers themselves, is Nico Gonzalez. And so for 6.6, I'm happy to have him in the squad. And then playing with a back five, as talked about in scoring, I think defenders are going to be very important. They're going to be the players likely that play 90 minutes, so get the 3 points for playing. And they get clean sheets per half, not even per 90 minutes. So, and in total, you could get up to 6 if they play the whole game and get a full clean sheet there. I do have both of my Juventus players in the defense, generally a defensive team. Danilo has a lot. He had probably his best season for Juve last year, and I'm hoping he can continue that. Lots of clean sheets and lots of attacking returns for Danilo as well. So he was one of the players coming in that had to be part of my squad. I think I'd want to say he's pretty locked in. And then Gatti as well. Not he has been starting a lot, especially now that Bonucci's out. And stuff he should be a starting center back, I think. And at 4.8 to get another player in the Juve defense could be huge. They do have a lot of games generally where they do get a lot of clean sheets, and having 2 of those, that's 12 points right there, just based off of clean sheets with Danilo and Gatti if they're both starting. Then we have Spinazzola, generally an attack midfielder, another injury-prone player that he's by no means locked in this squad, but it probably at 5 mil and easy transfer out into someone else that's 5 mil at some point. But a good attacking option. Roma has one of the best fixtures to start out the season. So I definitely wanted a Roma player in there at least. And then we have Demiral for Atalanta, a player that I'm not really sure how nailed he is in the Atalanta squad, but he fit with the budget for now. We'll see if that needs to be changed. I might need to do a little bit more research on the Atalanta backline. Let me know if you have any information on that. I do have 0.2 mil in the bank, so I could upgrade to a 5.0 Atalanta defender need be. Calabria, I do think Theo Hernandez is a little too expensive for the price point that for what he's going to give. Yes, he is very attacking. He was significantly less attacking last year than he was the previous year. So I don't know if he necessarily earned the 7.0 from last year, although it really depends. Is he on penalties? Is he how forward is he getting? Is he playing consistent minutes? Stuff like that. He could be, but as far as what I want to do with the rest of the squad, it didn't make sense to have Theo Hernandez in, and Calabria playing on the opposite wing back from him just made a lot of sense, and he is a good defender in his own right on a good team. And lastly, I have Musso in the goal. Like I said, with clean sheet points being important, and you get a point for every 2 saves. I wanted a good keeper in net that was going to keep the ball up. Now, you could even go for a lower priced one and think that, yeah, they might allow a lot of goals, but they're going to get a lot of shots on net. Now, because you get a -1 for every goal conceded, I did want to keep her on a decent team, which is why I've gone with Musso here. He's also the cheapest of the keepers on the big teams. It seems that Jens Sommer is officially signed, I think. And so it's not like you're going to be getting an Inter goalie for like 4.4 or whatever it was. So we'll see what his price point comes in at, Jens Sommer, because I don't have any Inter players in right now. It's a little interesting. I might need to change that at some point, but Musso seemed like a good option on a good team at a decent price at 4.8. Looking at the bench here, Berardi is a backup keeper. I was literally just going for the cheapest price point on a team that I don't anticipate needing 2 players from. So you don't want to have a backup goalie like 3.8 from a Juve, Roma, Inter, AC Milan, because obviously you're probably going to want to have them as part of your squad. You only get 2 players each, so you don't want to waste one of those spots on a backup keeper. Jovic as my second Fiorentina player. Now that Cabral's out, he should be a relatively consistent striker in the side. And only at 6.6, that's decent for a backup striker as needed. I honestly want to play him as part of this first game as they face Genoa, but I don't know who I would take out of this starting 11 right now. Samponara in the midfield. Again, playing for Hellas Verona could be okay. maybe not at 5 mil. Coming from Fiorentina, it might have more of a prominent role in Verona. So just kind of a little punt there, not necessarily anything for sure coming out of Samponara, but nice cheap midfielder, which can be is likely going to be starting frequently. So those could be hard to find. I think that's a good option, cheap option. And I have Strefezza from Lecce. I took too long to get him in last season, but honestly, very attacking midfielder. Really stands out on a relatively weak Lecce team as a strong point in the side. And I forget he might have been on penalties last year. I honestly forgot about that. But just another good midfield option with a low price point. But that's kind of where I'm starting at right now. I'm thinking of a 5-3-2, see how important these defender points are and if they come about often. Two very strong strikers and some mid to high tier midfielders in there as well. And I think I do have a lot of options off the bench aside from goalkeeping, which Berardi probably will not be seeing any time. If I do end up finding a maybe if 4.0 million keeper that does start, then I'll probably get him in instead of Berardi just so I can have a little bit of rotation. But I'm mostly going to be sticking with Musa off the start here. As far as game week 1 goes, I think it would be relatively smart to captain Osimhen here and vice captain Immobile. I don't see Osimhen not starting the season, but always good to just take your vice captaincy seriously just in case. And yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Screenshot your team into the comments, or let me know what you got. Or I would be happy to tell you what I think of your team as well. But yeah, let's get the dialogue going and let's get the season rolling. Rankings for each position coming out in the next couple days. Take care. Have a good one.